Today's MMA Fight Picks podcast is brought to you by Hero Soap Company. Hero Soap is an all-natural soap with no harsh chemicals and are made with essential oils. This means no lab-made synthetic properties that can irritate sensitive skin. This is why you won't find cotton candy or bubblegum scented products, just real, great-smelling soap. Best of all, Hero Soap is USA veteran-owned, and a percentage of the proceeds from your purchase go directly to veterans and first responders. Hero Soap is packaged in a water and dust-proof resealable bag that will repel the harsh elements so you can take it with you hiking, camping, wherever. Each bar of soap is handmade in Phoenix, Arizona. Every ingredient used to make Hero Soap is sourced from companies right here in the USA. Unlike other lifeless natural soaps, there are tons of great-smelling soaps to choose from. Cedarwood with charcoal, relaxing lavender, and my favorite, peppermint plus cool. And fellas, it's so good, it'll make your balls tingle. Simply go to herosoapcompany.com/discount/MMAFP for 10% off your purchase, or just enter promo code MMAFP at checkout if you don't want to type all that in. You can even subscribe and save even more money. Remember, promo code MMAFP for 10% off your purchase. You'll smell great without irritating chemicals, and you'll be giving back to USA veterans and first responders.
You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey everyone, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and today we'll be picking fights for yet another UFC Apex event. I believe the final one before Fight Island, which is on Yaz Island. Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Interesting card last weekend. Curtis Blaydes did what I thought he was going to do against Alexander Volkov and really just kind of wrestled him. Josh Emmett, Shane Burgos really delivered. Josh Emmett winning that decision despite his knee almost falling off. And, golly, Bobby Greene, Clay Guida, a good fight. Bobby Greene eked that one out. Tisha Torres back in a big fashion against Brianna Van Buren. Just overall, it was a pretty darn good card. Lauren Murphy really showing that she has improved her game by beating Roxanne Modafferi. But we're going to pick fights for this week's, and not maybe the strongest card. I'm not going to pick a bunch of fights on here, and if you are on Periscope, feel free to help me pick a few fights, leave a comment, or whatever. I do want to apologize for last week's video. Several minutes were lost. It was choppy. It was terrible. Thank goodness I did a backup audio because on the podcast before that I didn't, but I did. And so it was kind of an audio-only type YouTube if that's how you like to watch it. But the podcast part turned out great. What do you say we pick some fights? Like I said, feel free to say hi and pick along with me. First up, Philipe Lins versus Tanner, the Bulldozer, Boser. Philipe, man, I picked for him this last fight, but Andre Arlovski again turns back time with American Top Team and beats him by decision. Before that, though, he was in kind of a bit of hot streak there. Josh Copeland, Gerald Rosholt, Alex Nicholson. Let's take a look here at Tanner, the Bulldozer, Boser. Did just lose to Cyril Gain. This was back in, December, so he hasn't fought in a while. He did, does have victories over Daniel Spitz, Jared Kilkenny. I think, just based on strength of schedule alone, in the fact that Philipe was on a real hot streak, I think Philipe comes back and takes this one. All right. Violent Bob Ross. I am a fan of the nicknames, as you know. Luis Pena versus Khama, the Death Star worthy. Khama Chameleon. That's all I can think of right now. So let's take a look first at Violent Bob Ross here. Luis Pena just beat Steve Garcia. That was back in February. He does have a split decision loss to Matt Frevola. That was a close fight. He has wins over Matt Wyman. That was his return to lightweight. And I'm glad this is at lightweight. I thought there was talk of him going back to featherweight. Let's look at Khama Worthy here. A lot of wins. Devontae Smith, Adam Ward, Joey Munoz. But really only one fight in the UFC. And again, I think as we dig into these fights and more fighters are filling these cards, I think you're going to find a few mismatches, a lot of fill-ins, and that sort of thing. And I think this is a bit of a mismatch here. And I like the experience of Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena, and I think he's got this one. Again, I see lots of looky-loos here, but no pickers. But that's all right. It's good because at heavyweight, Long Island's Gian Villante taking on Maurice Greene. That's right. I did say heavyweight. He is moving up. He is a former heavyweight and light heavyweight champion in another promotion. I can't think of what it is right now. Let me look way down here. Ring of Combat. There it is. Excuse me. But Villante, man, he likes to go out there kind of crazy, reckless. He just lost to a TKO to, I'm going to butcher this name, Michelle Aliciuk. Does have a win over Ed Herman. A loss to Sam Alvey. They're all split decisions. I mean, this guy is the king of split decisions here, except, minus his last fight here. Then you got Maurice Greene. He has two losses in a row. I'm tongue-tied here because he lost to Alexei Olenek. Sergey Pavlovich does have wins over Junior Albini, Jeff Hughes, Michael Batista. Golly, this is tough because Villante has not been at heavyweight for quite some time, and no matter how big of a light heavyweight you are, just like with OSP, it is different going up against guys that are just born to it, that are just been at heavyweight for a while. And let me see what he does weigh. So yeah, he's right there at the limit here, right there, 265. He's 6'7". 6'7". My gosh. This is a for real heavyweight. I don't think this guy could get down to 205 if he wanted to. And let's take a look at Villante here. How tall is Villante? He is, 6'3". Yeah, man, I don't know. Oh, that's tough. As much as I like Villante, as much as he supports the Iaquinta Realty account, man, I got to go with Maurice. I'm sorry. This is going to be a crazy one, too. Mike Perry, Mickey Gall at welterweight. So Mickey Gall, you know him from Dana White. No. It's Dana White Looking for a Fight. He's the one that dismantled CM Punk. Did lose to Diego Sanchez somewhere down the line. And then you got Mike Perry. He's about every Florida man stereotype you can think of. And he is taking on Mickey Gall. Now, Mike Perry, as of late, I don't know if he lost his mind or what. He was married to the Platinum Princess. All of a sudden, he wasn't. All of a sudden, he gets rid of all his training, and whoever his girlfriend is going to corner him. I don't know if this is true or not. If he comes out with a corner with one girl, I mean, he's already dead. And let's talk about, the grappling here of Mickey Gall. Kenny Florin recently said maybe he doesn't think that Mickey Gall's grappling is that good. Well, I can tell you this. Mike Perry's grappling is not good. He did, he had a submission match against a much lighter Al Iaquinta. If you look at that, Al really did ragdoll him quite a bit. The fact that Perry won was disgusting. That was not a win on any way, shape, or form. And I think Mickey Gall just takes him down right away, ducks a few punches. He may have to eat a few punches. He takes him down. I think he'll submit Mike Perry. Look what the much smaller Donald Cerrone did. Tapped him quick. So we'll see here. But I don't like this fight for Mike Perry at all. He could catch him with something. If you all think different, let me know. But Mike Perry's a goofball, and I just want to see Mickey Gall choke him out. The main event of the evening, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker. Going into this, I've not made a pick. This is a really, really tough because Dustin Poirier looking like a killer until he runs into Khabib. And, he was complaining of the pressure of Khabib, too. And I don't know what he was expecting going into that fight. But, round 3, Khabib, rear naked chokes him. But he looked great against that Max Holloway fight. That was a war, a 5-round war. Well, which saw Holloway moving up to lightweight, and I didn't like that fight. I don't know. Holloway, I know he cuts a lot to get to 145, but I think that's because he likes to eat a lot. So in that fight, it was a great win. Don't get me wrong for Poirier, but Holloway just looked like a doughy 155-pounder, honestly. But he does have that win against Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis. I mean, lots and lots of wins. That one loss in 2016 back, that was Michael Johnson, and that was another slug out too, and Johnson just caught him. I remember that fight. But Dan Hooker, man, a real close fight against Paul Felder his last out. Beats Al Iaquinta. Al not doing so great with those rangier guys, those taller guys. Knocks out James Vick, round 1, way back when. His last loss was a body punch to Edson Barbosa back in 2018. But let's not forget, man, Hooker is huge. And just like Poirier, he used to cut down to 145 pounds as well. But, I see a lot of people just joining all of a sudden on Periscope. It's his last fight, so this is your last chance. But, this is tough. Poirier has taken some time to rest. He has not fought since that Khabib fight, September. So it's been a long time. September last year. Well, there hasn't been a September of this year yet. So, and Dan Hooker did fight a little more recently, February. But, God, man, I'm gonna go with the. I'm going to go with the upset here. At least it's an upset in my eyes because Poirier, just fought for the championship, has beaten a bunch of killers. But Dan Hooker, man, since July 2019, looking like a killer. Going Dan Hooker for the upset and probably the next contender after we see Khabib versus Gaethje, and could be a stand-in as well. Look what happened with Gaethje being a stand-in and fighting Tony Ferguson. We could see that as well. But that is it for now. So thanks to all of those that have watched. There was a lot of you. Nobody wanted to pick, and that's okay too. But until next time, the Fight Picks. We'll see you next week. Shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.